What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Off the Woodwork, your soccer betting podcast here on the Face Off Sports Network. Monday, October 21st, we are back after, I feel like, a pretty long hiatus. We had some personal stuff going on. Kenny was a little sick. Pavlos was traveling, but I think the last time we spoke was Champions League. We are back here to go through Europe again. Champions League week, Tuesday and Wednesday. Boys, we're off to a winning start. We had a little bit of a rough go of it last time. 6 wins, 6 losses, and a draw. So we did lose a little bit of juice there on the week. But we're still up 3 units on the season. So plus money is plus money. We've been putting in a lot of bets. We put in a lot of games. We'll probably look to dial that back, be a little bit more selective here going forward. But we got a good slate in front of us. So let's get right to it. Pavlos, Kenny. Kenny's ready with the kit on. He's looking good in the bright yellow. How we feeling, boys?
Just because I'm wearing it doesn't mean I think they're actually going to do anything this week. I think it looks great to go with the show, but they got a really tough game this week against Real Madrid. It's obviously one of the premier matches of the match day. We've had a bit of a wall in terms of like momentum, not just like units, but momentum. You get a match day, and then you've got another international break. It feels like we just had one previous to that, and then you're dealing with first match day back after international break. I mean, it seems like one thing after another lately. Hopefully we get a nice little stretch of games here and we can get some profit going.
Yeah, I feel good. I actually took some days off, traveled, Greece, went to some concerts, went to a couple of, took probably what is my last couple of swims in the sea. I feel great. This looks like promising, I should say, a Champions League week. There's a lot of traps. I do like goals in several matches.
Yeah.
I do have a couple of home teams, home favorites, and maybe a couple of dogs. But we need to be careful here. So, but I still probably have like 10 plays for the show.
Yeah, no, listen, man, we were talking about it. I think we wish we had a show on Friday because we all had a good weekend individually. I think we felt pretty good coming out of this weekend. And the same advice we give out every show is it's going to reign true, right? A lot of football being played right now. Kenny just mentioned it, right? There was an international break. Club football's back. Now you have Champions League back midweek. A lot of games. So some spots to take advantage of. Equally as important, some spots to avoid. A lot of these teams playing on 3 days rest. So we're going to pick our spots here, but I agree with you, man. Overall, this week is looking like goals to me. Personally, I love this new format. I think the games have been much more enjoyable to watch. Maybe not easy to bet on, right? Because, like I said, we went 6-6 last time around. But as an innocent bystander, maybe as an over better, you got to be licking your chops. The slate looks good this week.
Yep, I agree on that one.
So let's kick it off. Tomorrow's game's Tuesday. There's 2 early games. I don't know if you want to get into either of them. AC Milan at home to Club Brugge, and then Monaco at home to Red Star. I will leave it up to you guys.
Kenny, you have a pick in these matches?
Going simple moneyline parlay with a Monaco moneyline against Red Star. I think Monaco are unbeaten so far in their domestic campaign. Red Star, same tune as what's been going even since last year. They're not competitive enough in these Champions League games. I think the minus 263 is extremely playable number for parlay, and then combining that with Sporting money line against Sturm Graz. Combining
what's
those
that
to get is minus 108.
Okay.
Yeah, I dig it. Monaco's kind of been one of those teams where I feel like I never quite get them right.
Same.
But they've looked good so far this year. Listen, obviously minus 280 is a little too much to lay right off the top. I mean, I would say any Red Star game, I'm always interested in the over. This over is 3.25, which is even money. You can get over 3 at minus 125. I do kind of like that, but if you're doing that, you're banking on Red Star to contribute in some way, shape, or form. and I just feel like they haven't brought it yet in the Champions League. I mean, they've looked a little worse than I expected to.
That's why I think the minus 260, depending on what book you have, the minus 263, minus 275. That's an excellent number for a parlay. You know, like most teams that are going to play against Red Star in this tournament, probably going to be minus 400 or minus 1500 if you're Man City. You know, minus. I don't really think this number should be playable in a parlay. I think it should be a bit higher than what it's listed at, and especially we're getting Monaco at home.
Yeah.
Too good of a number to pass up to put in a parlay.
And that's the factor for me, man. Red Star, obviously, if they're at home, this is a different story. The one thing I will say, even in the few games so far this year that I've watched, they get chances, they get counters, they seem to put away those chances, but I don't think they score consistently enough. So I'm trying to talk myself into an over here, but I think the play is what you're saying. I think Monaco get it done at home. Maybe we just lay off goals in this one. Unless you feel differently, Pavlos.
No, I'm with you there. I just retweeted. I'm with you there. I can't get Monaco right. I bet the under and it's an over. I bet them to win and they draw. I bet them to. I've paid them and they win. This is a big fat pass for me. Although I should just say that these two teams, they also met in the group stage of the Europa League 2 seasons ago, and Monaco beat Red Star both at home and on the road. So I wouldn't blame anyone taking the money line. But, my plays on the other match. I actually think Milan Club Brugge is a both teams to score. Nothing too crazy here, minus 120. I think that's a fair price. AC Milan, their defense looks bad this season. They only kept 3 clean sheets, actually, all 3 at home. But against Venezia and Lecce, who are just bad teams, and they're 1-0 against Udinese over the weekend was very, very lucky. They took the lead in the first half. They saw a red card. Udinese had 2 disallowed goals. And they just, Udinese, I think they were missing one of their strikers. So they had 13 shots, just 1 on goal. Club Brugge, if they get 13 shots, or even if they get like half of those, they're going to connect. They're going to have like 2 or 3 on target. And they have a pretty well-oiled offense. I think they can hurt AC Milan here. So give me both teams to score, minus 120. Don't care who wins.
No, I dig that. I think Milan have been fortunate that they've been scoring a ton of goals. They actually look good. And I want to sound like the homer guy here from America, but Pulisic has looked really, really good to start the season. If you have a book that offers first half shots on target, he's been pretty much automatic. He's been scoring a ton of goals. He's plus 170 to get 2 shots on target in the game. I think that's a pretty playable number. Plus 225 to get an assist. I think that's a decent number. If you have to score an assist and that's around even money, I think that's good. I don't know what the lineup's going to look like for this one. Morata's hurt. He's not hurt. Tim Abraham hasn't really played well. Leao got benched the last game. I have to imagine he comes back for this one. But Pulisic has been the constant for this team, and he's been delivering. So really good start to the year. I think Milan will look to build on this momentum. They know they need points in this one at home, but their defense has definitely been susceptible. So I agree with you. I think both teams get in the net in this one.
Nice one.
So yeah, just keep an eye on those numbers. Next one I want to talk about, PSG taking on PSV, the PS Derby. PSG at home, minus 245, PSV plus 550. PSV have not yet looked like the side we expected them to look like here in the Champions League. I have this resounding loss to Juventus from 2 match weeks ago, like in my brain, like who is this team that gave up 3 to Juventus, who score almost no goals in every single game? What do you guys make of this one? Because I am always the loudest cheerer against PSG in the Champions League. I feel like they are just the most overrated, overvalued, overbet team in this competition. So Arsenal take care of business against them last time pretty comfortably. What do you make of this game, or this PSG side, or either side?
Kenny, you want
to go first?
I was expecting profound thoughts from Kenny in this one.
Okay, I'll go first.
I kind of.
Oh, okay, you go first then. It's always you first, Kenny. Unless you say otherwise, it's always you first.
So the thing with PSV, so they play in one of my favorite leagues, as I've talked about many times over. The problem with this league, part of the reason it's so underrated is because of what happens when the teams, which there'll be another game we'll be talking about very soon that I have a very strong opinion on. We're not going to talk about that one yet, but part of the problem with the teams that play in this league, you get these great goal differentials at the end of the year. You get plus 78. You look, PSV scored 89, only allowed 10 all season long, plus 79. Then they go and play these good teams in Champions League. They didn't play any team all season long that was remotely close in skill level. You know, some years when Ajax actually looks good, yeah, you could say Ajax, but with the state of that league right now, I just don't see teams being able to step up and play to where they're supposed to play in. You know, it's still a league that it's going to get good teams in each year, but then when they play against teams like PSG, which, you know, so far, yes, they have not looked so good in the Champions League, but I do think the price is right here, minus 220, minus 240. I don't really know what to make of the goal line. You know, both of these teams have started off slow in terms of points over the first two games. PSG obviously are heavy favorites and will look to take all 3 points here. There's no excuse for them not to, but in terms of a handicap or over under, I had to stay away from this one, but it's hard to really see PSV doing anything different than what they've done so far, and that's not taking a positive result here.
No, that's fair.
This looks like goals to me.
Yeah.
If you ask me, this I have this penciled down as a both teams to score in over 2.5 goals at minus 115. PSG, they kept just 2 clean sheets all season, both at home. One of them was 1-0 against Girona. And the other one was a 6-0 win against Montpellier. And just a fun fact about this matchup, whenever Montpellier's coach, Derzar Karyan, whenever he meets PSG, he loses badly. He has like 1 win, 1 draw, and like 20 losses. It's really, really bad. So take those results with a grain of salt. PSG are conceding goals left and right. I'm guessing that they concede against PSV, who have scored in all matches so far in the season.
Yeah.
There are certain matches where they scored 3 goals, 5 goals, 4 goals. So good offensive sides, leaky defenses. PSV on the road, they played 2, 4, 6 matches. They kept just 1 clean sheet. So yeah, I think this match screams both teams scoring over 2.5 goals to me. Minus 115 is a very fair price. Yeah. I'm gonna get that.
No, I agree. I'm with you there. I mean, Kenny's so right about PSV. I'm trying to leave my, keep saying PS, and I'm sorry if it's confusing. I'm trying to leave my Paris Saint-Germain hatred aside because they just never seem to show up in the Champions League for me. I want to take PSV plus 1.5. It's at minus 130. I'm really close because PSG do have a tough away game this weekend to Marseille. So, I mean, that's pretty much one of their only competitors in the French league. So, you know, could they maybe be looking ahead to it a little bit and PSV keep it close? I mean, in that instance, we think both teams to score. We think over 2.5 goals. We need a PSV goal. So if PSV do score, PSG would need to score 3 goals in order for us to lose plus 1.5. So I'm kind of leaning that way, but I don't know if I can make it an official play here. I just haven't seen enough out of them yet. So Kenny has talked me off of them. I'm kind of with you, Pavlos. The only thing I'm going to say is if you're a huge PSG believer, just proceed with a little bit of caution because they do have a look-ahead spot this week. And, you know, they're just inconsistent, plain and simple. So let's take goals and let's just be happy with the result. I'm with you there.
All right.
But I do lean plus 1.5 on PSV.
For the record.
For the record.
Yeah.
I'm just going in the order that DraftKings has everything listed here. So if we have a play, we can go into it. If we don't, we don't. But Real Madrid taking on Dortmund, might as well jump in. Kenny, you got the yellow on. Plus 550 for your boys away from home. What do you expect out of them?
This is obviously a rematch of the Champions League final. You know, as much as I was hoping to be more competitive in that game, I think we knew what the story was with Dortmund last year. They played well defensively the whole campaign, and it didn't lead them to glory at the very end because they just were up against a team with much better quality. But I don't know. This Real Madrid team is supposed to be a much better version of what was last year. You know, they added Mbappe, and it's taken some time. Real Madrid money line looks like it could be a parlay piece. At the same time, I don't expect Dortmund to go in here and be pressing to think that they can go up 1-0 and lock down a 1-0 win. That's just the reality when you look at these two rosters. Dortmund they performed much better in the Champions League so far than they're doing in their domestic, over in the Bundesliga. Every time there's a fast break going the opposite way, Dortmund looks like they could concede one. Dortmund looks like they could concede one, even if it's not. Like, it hasn't been looking pretty so far. Like if you're looking subpar against teams like Heidenheim, how are you supposed to look against teams like Real Madrid? I don't have any official play in this game. I was going to put Real Madrid money line in a parlay, but even that, I can't really. I need to see more Mbappe with that team before.
Yeah. And listen, I mean, the same way I feel about PSG is the opposite way I feel about Real Madrid, right? You give me Real Madrid in the Champions League, I'm always going to be a believer. They didn't look good the last time out. I don't think they looked good the first game out, right? They've kind of struggled a little bit here. They lost 1-0 last game to Lille, which was insane. Books are expecting 3 goals from them to, over the team total. You have to go over 2.5 to get even money. Do you see that, Pavlos? I mean, are we looking at goals or are we looking at another disappointing game?
It's a tricky game. No matter how much I squeeze it, I really can't find an official play in the sense that I do see Real Madrid winning. Dortmund on the road, they've been really bad. They even lost to Union Berlin. They got thrashed 5-1 against Stuttgart. A goalless draw against Werder Bremen. That's in their domestic competitions in the Bundesliga. They did thrash Club Brugge 3-0, but all 3 goals were scored late in the game. They just looked like they were just, struggling a little bit to get the ball in the net. Real Madrid, as you said, Nick, they probably shouldn't have won in match day 1 against Stuttgart. They could have conceded at least a couple of more goals. In the match against Lille, they struggled again. Now, here's the thing. Real Madrid, off a loss in the Champions League, I don't think they've ever not won their next game, unless like against a monster team. And I think Real Madrid at home, with all the boost from the players and possibly Dortmund's tactics away from home haven't exactly been really good. So I do see Real Madrid scoring 2. The over 1.5 is -285, maybe a parlay piece. I really don't know where to go with this one. Maybe
I was trying to look at first half goals. There's nothing there. It's just
strange. You might as well
Real Madrid and under 4.5.
They could win 4-1, 3-2. Maybe Dortmund, they conceded 5 to Stuttgart.
I know.
Maybe Real Madrid click into gear, and it's not like Real Madrid might concede here. Their defense hasn't been watertight this season. Espanyol scored 1 against them. Alaves scored 2 against them. Stuttgart scored 1 and could have scored 3. Dortmund have some quality up front. This could go under. This could go over. I really don't know where to go with this match. It's probably a pass for me. Yeah. Weird game. Very weird.
Yeah, Kenny, I don't know. Unless you got other thoughts, man. I got nothing in this game. I mean, couldn't be more confused.
If Real Madrid -1 was playable at a playable number, that would be like what you could call the safe bet in a segment in the show. But it's -139. I don't really want to lay that for a team that has accumulated less than 1 expected goal over the last 2 fucking games. Both I can't think of a team to compare them to as far as a team that hasn't gelled so far. Like, think of a team that is supposed to. I'm talking about Real Madrid right now. I'm talking about.
No, right. You can compare them to Dortmund.
That's high expectations for us.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you not just tell me they were finalists last season in this competition? Did they not add a
They were
superstar
finalists,
striker from a
and
rival?
Yes, but I have
Have
no
they
problem
not
with that.
gelled yet completely?
Yes, but we were very lucky to make it that far.
I don't know, man. My comparisons are feeling pretty good.
This looks like cards to me.
Over 4.5?
Yeah, the referee is a good card referee. Wait, let me see what happened in the final. 2-4 cards. Blech. Yeah, I don't know. I have to squeeze a play out of this one, and I don't want to do it. Probably, I gonna take another look after this. After we're done with the show. But Kovacs, the referee, the Romanian referee, he has a tendency for cards. Maybe a bit of penalty kicks. In 2022-23 season, he officiated 36 matches, gave 26 penalty kicks. That's crazy. 4 penalty kicks in 5 Champions League matches. Maybe, actually, I'm gonna look at some stats. Maybe a penalty kick there. I don't have odds. I don't have lines.
Thinking that red card, maybe something silly.
I don't know. We're just beating around the bush here for a match that we're probably gonna have 0 plays in.
All right. Arsenal
I'm not all
Shakhtar.
that excited for it.
Arsenal's minus 1100. I don't have a damn thing in this game unless you guys like Shakhtar on the spread. Anything there?
I do like Shakhtar on the spread. I do like. I think that's a bit disrespectful. They're plus 2.75 underdogs.
Yeah.
Which means that if you get the Shakhtar plus 2.75, you win if Shakhtar wins, if Shakhtar draw, if they lose by 1, if they lose by 2, and if they lose by 3, that's the 5th one, you get half your stake back. And by the same token, I also kind of like the under 3.75 goals. Are we going to see 4 goals here? We still get half our stake back. 5 goals, I just don't see 5 goals in this match. I think Arteta, who are Arsenal playing next? Oh, they're playing Liverpool. Give me the under. Under 3.75 goals, minus 117. Lock this in.
Yeah. You convinced me. Shakhtar plus 2.75. I like it. Minus 130. I think that's good.
Could be. I mean, if Arsenal win 3-0, you get half your stake back, but I think the under is the way to go here. 3.75 looks way big.
Yeah, agree.
And Shakhtar, on the road. Yeah, I'll take the under. I'll take the
I like
under.
It. Kenny, anything to add?
For what it's worth, it's 5 days after Arsenal have a game against Liverpool after Shakhtar. I know it's Champions League, but this is kind of a look-ahead spot for me.
Yep.
Liverpool is the top of the league. Arsenal will be hosting Liverpool. I think this is a game they're just kind of looking at. Well, if we're up at 1-0 at halftime, if not, we'll just get it in the 60th minute. We'll lock up shop. It's just. I don't think this is a game where they're like, oh, we're gonna go out and try to get 5 goals. I wouldn't be surprised that this isn't an official play. You're gonna laugh at me because I said I wouldn't have any of these. I'm still staying by it. I wouldn't be surprised to see Arsenal with 28 corners. Yes. I wouldn't be surprised to see a corner spread covered, but
Did we have an Arsenal? Hold on. 7.5 is minus 140.
It's total. No, thank you. No, thank you.
All right.
I don't want to do that anyways, because when I take a team on the corner spread, I'm like the genie. Whenever I take their corner spread, they score 3 goals in the first half. There's no reason to even attack in the second half. So
listen, my new strategy is
whenever you take a corner
spread, I'm going to take the team total.
Exactly. Give us your leans on corner kicks, and I'm going to take the team to score 2 first half goals, the first half spread.
Easy.
It happens, seems like every time.
We bullied you out of corner picks. I'm sorry. You're doing good until that 1 week.
And I still hold over a 60% record, but it psyched me out a bit. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't even looked at them for a minute.
Sorry, Pablos. Did you have something else for this one?
No. I forgot about it. Anyway, it was a joke or something.
All right. Aston Villa at home to Bologna. Villa minus 180. Bologna plus 500. Bologna do not look good. They do not score. I think they missed some opportunities to get results here in this competition already. Aston Villa at that price, I'm not really touching. is there something you guys like in this game?
This is, to me, one of the biggest red flag. I don't want any part of. Just take both teams, and I'm not even going to be looking at the score of this game, to be honest with you. Bologna, you've got a classic situation where the same thing that was happening to Union Berlin is happening to them. It looks like kind of the start of. They've won one of their last 5. He scored 0 against Parma. He didn't beat. I don't know. No, thank you.
Yep.
Nothing to do on the Bologna side. Nothing to do with anything.
He was still processing. I don't know. Maybe I should. No, thank you. No, thank you.
I'm not trying to cook something when there's nothing to be cooked. Like there. You know what? Don't cook it.
You don't want to
throw it in the trash. Don't try to cook something that shouldn't be cooked.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, Pavlos, I'll let you go. I mean, I have one lean, but it's not even strong enough for me to say.
Listen, I think that Bologna are weaker than they were last season, right?
Much, yes.
Much weaker. So Aston Villa at home under Unai Emery, traditionally in easy matches like this, he goes for 1-0, 2-0, something like that. Unders. They don't want to kill anybody. They just want to get the job done. So Aston Villa -1 at plus money. It's at plus 107. If you at Pinnacle. If you want to get Aston Villa -3/4 of a goal, -130. You know what? Let's take Aston Villa minus the 1 goal. It's a plus money. I mean, if this is a draw, it's a draw. Aston Villa, they beat Bayern Munich by 1-0 in this venue. So why not Bologna? I know they were lucky in the match against Bayern Munich, but Aston Villa at home are strong. Bologna, they just don't pass the eye test. Yes, there's a lot of draws there. They don't win easily. They don't lose easily. But -1 at plus 107. I think that's worth the risk. So give me a piece of that. I'll take Villa -1 plus 107.
I'm going to give you the complimentary bet to that, and I want your thoughts. Both teams to score no at even money.
So we're looking at Bologna not scoring because Villa, I think they're going to score. Yeah, why not? Could be. I mean, I can't rule out a 2-1 win for Villa, to be honest. But Bologna, they didn't score against Napoli. They scored against Como and Monza and Genoa.
I mean, the better way to look at it, I'm sorry, is Bologna team total goals under half a goal is plus 130.
Plus 130.
If you like that, I was just looking at this. Villa and under 3.5 plus 142.
Yeah.
Plus 142.
That could be it.
Plus 142 for Villa and under 3.5.
What's the under 4.5?
I don't have that option. Hold on one.
Wait, don't find
build it.
Villa and under 3.5 on bookmakers plus 142.
Because if that's plus 142, I'm guessing the Villa and under 4.5 should be close to even money.
Bet Rivers had minus 137. I wouldn't. There's a big discrepancy. Like bookmakers offshore, Bet Rivers is obviously regulated. Yeah. So there's going to be
under
at least
4.5.
Let's see if we can do it this way.
Minus
110.
Yeah. You know what? Fuck the Aston Villa minus
okay.
1.
All right.
That's better.
Yeah.
Aston Villa under 4.5. Minus
so
110.
We're on live air right now. I'm currently digging out Aston Villa out of the garbage, and I'm putting it back on the stove. Cooking a word.
Let's take Aston Villa corner kicks.
Let's
now. If it loses, it doesn't matter because it was garbage. It smells. It stinks.
It's true.
I'm gonna get sick from eating this. We're cooking it. We're gonna
That's the fun of the show. That's the fun of what we do. That's the.
I hate you guys, but I love you guys.
No, there's nothing better. It's my second favorite thing to do, other than to just give out sometimes I give out a play just on vibes, and then Pavlos comes in and just reads off stats that back up my play. That's the best feeling I ever have in my lifetime is when that happens. So We're usually good for 1 or 2 of
Guys,
those.
for those of you that are listening here, Villa at minus 162. If you know what type of team Bologna is, this is a bet on principle. You're getting 50. You're saving 52 cents on the money line for the game to go under 4.5. I don't see Villa scoring 4.5 goals or over 4.5 goals.
Right.
3-1
seems like the
3-0,
maximum.
4-0, 2-1, 2-0. You're buying 8-9 different results, and you got minus 110. And you're saving 52 cents off. So there is very logical reasoning behind this. I wasn't aware of. Like I just said, it's minus 137 on Bet Rivers, which is initially what put me up. Minus 110. Again, I've said it before. This is why you shop around.
Yep. Second biggest piece of advice we usually start the show off with. So I'm glad you said it. Use your books. Next game up, Juve, Stuttgart. Juve minus 110 at home. Stuttgart plus 295. I've been impressed with both teams, to be honest. Stuttgart, obviously, I think they got manhandled by Bayern. That was them, right? This past weekend.
Yeah.
So that wasn't good, but they've looked good. They score a lot of goals. Juve have only conceded 3 goals all season across all competitions. They're not scoring a ton, but you got to give them credit for that. They have looked good at home. Minus 110 on the money line. What do you guys think about this game?
Looks like a pass for me.
This looks like we have one team that scores goals, a bunch of goals. We have another team that wins and has no problem scoring 1 goal and doesn't concede goals. Battle of defense against offense. Juve look like they're the team that plays the better defense. Yes, they should win, but minus 110. I hate Juventus. I do. I've hated them for a long time.
Join the fucking club, dude. Hold on. Membership application coming your way.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm in the Roma one. I've been to that one for forever, but Juventus, just because I don't talk about them like I talk about Roma, doesn't mean I don't hate them on a similar level.
I'm leaning under 2.75 at minus 110, but not enough to place it just yet.
Stuttgart have produced a couple of unders lately, and having considered 4 to Bayern, maybe they take a more passive approach, like a more defensive approach. But this was one of the matches where I immediately skipped. I don't want to spend another second. So
we've done all we could. Pass on this match. Sturm Graz at home to Sporting Lisbon. Sturm Graz plus 700. Sporting minus 275. I hate Portuguese teams. Kenny loves them. Kenny must have a play in this game.
Well, I did already say I've got.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. They were part of your parlay piece. My apologies.
I like goals here, to be honest. I don't know how you guys feel about goals, but Sporting are a scoring machine.
Yep.
Their defense hasn't looked all that great. Yeah, they kept a couple of clean sheets, but they're against, some of the worst teams in the Portuguese league. Sturm Graz, they lost to Brest in match day 1. However, it was an unlucky loss, to be honest. We did have Sturm Graz double chance in that match, and it's not like, if you just look at the stats alone, they didn't deserve to win, but they had an injury in the first half. They had a couple of disallowed goals, then a red card in the final minutes. Then they lost to Club Brugge at home, but, this team has scored 10 goals in the last 2 matches, both at home. Keep in mind that they play their home matches in the Europa League in a different stadium. I think it's not too far, but it's not their own stadium. But for what it's worth, they did score 10 goals, 5 and 5. 5 against Grazer, they won 5-2, and 5 against Salzburg. Salzburg, they beat them 5-0. So I guess they can find one against Sporting. So both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. Is higher than I would expect. It's at plus 114. You can just take both teams to score at minus 127 in the fear of a 1-1 draw, which is always the case when Sporting are playing, especially on the road. And these 2 teams, they also met in the Europa League last season. And this match in this venue, actually in Sturm Graz's normal venue, because they're using a different one this season for the Europa League, they lost 1-2. So they took the lead, considered 2 goals in the first half. In the second half. So I'm between both teams to score at minus 127 and both teams to score an over 2.5 goals at plus 114. Since the both teams to score is at a marginally playable number, Let's get both teams to score minus 127. I guess I'd play that to minus 130, minus 135.
No.
You can always take both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at plus 114 with a smaller stake. But let's go with both teams to score minus 127.
I like it. All right, last game of the match day on Tuesday. Girona at home, Slovan Bratislava. Girona minus 575. Nothing for me here.
Aren't the odds a bit disrespectful? I think they're a bit disrespectful to Slovan. I mean, Slovan aren't exactly the powerhouse, but wait, let me pull up where are the numbers. Girona minus 575 on the money line. The draw is at plus 700. Slovan money line is at plus 1300. The spread is set at
not as big as I want it to be. I want one more goal.
2 goals. If you get Slovan Bratislava plus 2 goals, minus 105. I mean, Girona, they haven't exactly blasted anyone this season. One of their home matches was 4-0 to Osasuna. But I don't know. Girona are one of the teams where they haven't passed the eye test, at least for me, and I've been keeping a close eye on them. They're just really bad for betting, to be honest. And Slovan, as much, as competitive as they are at home, on the road, they haven't been all that great. They lost 5-1 to Celtic, but Girona are not Celtic. They don't have the same firepower. They don't have the same force in the offense. I just think this is a big spread, to be honest. This is not an official play, but Slovan Bratislava plus 2. If they score a goal, this will probably hit. But if they score a goal, why don't we go with both teams to score minus 105?
Right.
Because this could very well be a match where whoever scores the first goal just sits back and absorbs the pressure. What's the total looking like? I probably don't want to get involved in this match. 3.5.
No. But the under is like minus 135.
Pass. Fuck it. Just a couple of thoughts, but fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, Slovan plus 2. You could probably get 2.25 if you shop around. I agree, but other good spots. I'm avoiding this one. I think. Kenny?
Yeah, I'm crossing it off as well. Okay.
I think books at this point are just putting a bunch of money line prices on a wheel at this point and letting it spin with the lowest price being minus 500. They could have made this minus 800. Nobody would have probably blinked an eye. The spread still would only be 2.25. Nothing in this game.
All right, we got Wednesday's games, early matches, 12:45 Eastern. There are 2 plus 550 underdogs. Stade Brest at home to Leverkusen and Celtic away to Atalanta. Minus 200 for Leverkusen, minus 240 for Atalanta. Kenny, these seems like the parlay is already made for you. Are you taking favorites in these 2 games here?
I like Atalanta in a money line parlay.
How'd I know?
I'd like to. I just want to continue to fade Celtic.
Yes.
They have been brutal, to say the very least. I think this price isn't high enough for Atalanta. I think Atalanta could be 60 cents higher, and I wouldn't even bat an eye. We continue to talk about Celtic, in their domestic league. Yeah, they could put up 37 goals and only allow 5, but that's Scotland league, man. They're playing Rangers one week, and then next week they're just
Joe's Pub United.
They're playing a team that their profession isn't even what do they do?
Yeah. Hey man, I'm just throwing it out. Leverkusen Atalanta money line parlay for the early games plus 115. Just throwing it out there.
It's a pass for both matches for me. I know there's some fuckery going on in those early matches. I don't want to get involved. Although Celtic looked like kids in a playground in the 7-1 loss to Dortmund. Dortmund could have scored like 3 more goals. Whenever Dortmund were launching an attack, especially in that first half, you could smell the goal coming, and they did score 5. A couple of penalty kicks. It was tricky, for this Celtic defense. I'm guessing Atalanta money line is safer than Leverkusen money line, no matter how weird that may sound. Brest, we've underestimated them at the start of the season.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, 2 wins out of 2 matches. They dropped 4 on the road against Salzburg. They got a draw against Rennes. Doing not so bad in the League One so far. Leverkusen, a couple of red flags, 2-0 up against Holstein Kiel at home. I mean, whenever you see Leverkusen 2-0 up in the 8th minute at home against a team that was recently promoted, you say, okay, they're going to score like 3 more. If I have the money line, it's locked in. I'm not going to lose. And then they concede 2 goals. For a 2-2 draw, this is not the same Leverkusen as last season. Something of that magic has, sort of evaporated. I think there's a great deal of danger in this match. I'm skipping. Even if Leverkusen win by 4-0 or 4-1 or something like that, I don't want to get involved. Brest have been a really weird horse to bet on. I'm avoiding. I'm skipping both matches.
Can I interest you in Inter Milan minus? No,
my bad.
No. I was just going to throw another game I'm avoiding. Go.
One of the biggest caution matches. I plus 1.25 for Brest at home. I mean, for the Leverkusen that we have this season,
and Leverkusen are going to do their black magic and score like 5.
That's the thing with what Leverkusen have in attack. If their best game of the season, plus 1.25 is dead at 30 minutes into the game. They're down 3-0. That's the type of attack Leverkusen does possess. But I'm telling you right now, I think Brest score in this game. I wouldn't even be shocked to see them get 2, but they will score in this game. I don't even want to go Leverkusen and both teams to score. Does it come in? Probably. But you're probably sweating.
Both teams minus 135. Which means that the books are expecting Brest to score. No. No, Leverkusen could win by 2-0. What's the total look like? 3 goals. Yeah, Leverkusen could win by 2-0. They're gonna. No. Pass. Fuck this one.
This is Nick. You mentioned the other game. Listen, Atalanta money line minus 224. That's a great first leg. Second leg, Inter Milan. You're playing young boys. They're on a 4-game win streak. Has been pretty no. That's the parlay that I have, and it's minus 101. I mean,
yeah.
Listen, make it even money. Make it even money. Throw a cent in.
Well, hold on. Let me contact the book and let me see. Hey guys, make this even money, right?
They'll do it.
My OCD's.
I mean,
they'll do it.
The process, how you think this through here. You got Inter. They're playing young boys. Young boys have been an absolute mess this season. They're normally a powerhouse in that Swiss league. They've not been remotely close to what most people would have expected them to be. You got Atalanta at home. I think minus 101. This parlay should probably be minus 125, minus 130. It's not. I think minus 101 is probably one of the best prices you'll see for a money line parlay this week between those two.
I agree. If you want to juice it to even money, throw in Manchester City at minus 1,800, and that'll get you to even money.
Yeah, and that'll get you to minus one.
You'll pick up that 1 cent. All right, Pavlos, is this the week that we fade Manchester City on the spread and hit? We took plus 3.5 last game. We lost 4-0. That hurt a little bit. Are we running it back this week with Sparta Prague?
What the spread?
I don't know.
2.75.
You thought I would have that information.
It's 2.75.
No, give me one more.
I mean, actually, I think the both teams to score at plus 189 is a bit disrespectful for Sparta Prague, especially, Sparta Prague, I think they've scored, let me double check, in all their matches this season, and they played like 20 of them, including a 1-1 draw away at Stuttgart, including a 3-0 at home to Salzburg. They scored in all their matches, and this City defense has not been waterproof. Yes, they kept a clean sheet against Chelsea, a clean sheet against Inter Milan, and a clean sheet against Slovan Bratislava. I didn't watch that match. I see 0 shots from Slovan, 0.26 expected goals. It wasn't a lucky clean sheet. But they do not keep a lot of clean sheets.
No.
They kept
They
just
gave up a
one.
goal this weekend.
Yeah. So they kept just one clean sheet in 2, 4, 6, 7 matches in all competitions at home. The one against Inter Milan, Sparta Prague have been scoring, and Sparta Prague actually. I was looking last season. They scored, even though they lost to Liverpool. They did score 6-1. They lost. They scored 2 goals away at Galatasaray. And I think they scored in all their league in their group matches as well. So I think both teams to score is from plus 160 to plus 189. I got this plus 189 right in front of me at Pinnacle. I'm gonna get that. Even if they lose 5-1,
It's worth
4-1, I don't even care. 1-1 draw, I don't care. I just want a Sparta Prague goal. I don't think City are gonna remain scoreless. I think it's disrespectful.
I dig it.
To be honest.
Listen, I might do it. Over 2.5 cards in the game is minus 140. That's a low number.
Over 2.5.
Yeah. That's really low.
That's really low. And Sparta, they're getting cards. Let's put it against Salzburg. Yeah, they're careful. 1-on-1 cards in the 2 Champions League matches so far. They can start hitting if you poke them, and City will poke them. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have who's the referee? Who's the referee?
How do they not get that on their own?
Maurizio Mariani. 40 cards in 9 matches, 7-2-6, 6-3, 5-5-4. Yeah, could be. He did. Yeah. If he did the Lille versus Real Madrid, he gave out 7 cards. Yeah, could be. I mean, 2.5 cards could be confirmed in the first half alone. So yeah. I
don't care. It's a little chalky.
I mean, City could get one.
That's all we need. Cards. All right, we're in minus 140. Number sucks, but I don't care. 3 cards minimum in any game. Yeah, let's see. Looking through the rest of the slate. I mean, now probably could have started with the rest of these games because they seem like the interesting ones. We got Atletico Madrid at home to Lille, minus 215.
Money line is a good parlay piece. Money line is a good parlay piece. Strong at home, Lille bad on the road. Atletico Madrid, they rotated over the weekend. They had Lino on the bench, De Paul on the bench, Alvarez on the bench, Jimenez on the bench. A lot of people on the bench, and it leads me to believe that they, always Atletico Madrid, when they play at home, extremely hard to beat. The only teams that beat them were Osasuna last season in a match that was totally indifferent. Match day 37. Atletico Madrid, they were going nowhere, up or down. They were stuck in that 4th spot. They lost to Barcelona at home. They lost to Bilbao at home, and Lille are not Barcelona. They're not Bilbao. Maybe they are an Osasuna, but this is a Champions League match. Totally different stakes. Atletico Madrid, they lost badly 4-0 to Benfica. And they're going to be fired up for this match. They're going to win. The question is by how much. You can still get Atletico Madrid minus the 1 goal. Minus 123. I find it at Pinnacle. Worst case scenario, they win by 1 and it's a push. I just don't see not even a draw in this match.
No. You want me to close the parlay for Kenny? I'll make Kenny's parlay for you right now. Atletico money line, Benfica money line plus 130.
Benfica, You guys really believe in Benfica?
No, I don't. But if I'm looking at the slate, I bet Kenny does.
We haven't talked about it yet, but I think they beat the fucking stuffing out of Feyenoord.
Feyenoord's D looks bad.
I cannot wait to.
Benfica, they have mental problems, man.
Talk about it. Let's go. Benfica at home. Am I right in my parlay assessment, Kenny? Are we putting that together?
I liked how that looks. Yes, I actually do. Listen, if the minus 0.75 was at the price that it was not all that long ago, it would be potential max bet material for me. Benfica money line yesterday, I saw as low as minus 160. I had minus 0.75 slated to be on the show overnight and everything. It was minus 132. It's already up to minus 148 in some places. Benfica and over 1.5 is minus 132. So we're talking about two teams and two of my favorite leagues, two of the leagues that are the most underrated in the world. The big difference between the two, Feyenoord plays in the league where, as I have already talked about it, you get these great goal differentials. It's a great league to watch. But then when you show up to Champions League, you just don't have it. You're not quite up to par, and you're not very far off. You're not far off. We've seen Ajax excel in these competitions in years past, but they don't get results. They don't take wins. The difference between that and the Portuguese league, look at 2 seasons ago, Benfica and Porto. I believe it was Porto that was in I don't know if it was semifinals or quarterfinals against Inter when they had that red card, which was the only reason that Inter scored with Lukaku late in the game. I remember. Listen, the Portuguese league, it's a battle-tested league. Like Sporting, Porto, Braga, Benfica. Those teams are battering each other every single season. And when you get to the Champions League, almost every season you see minimum of one Portuguese team in the knockout stage. It might not be pretty. There might be a lot of cards. There might be some corruption. We don't really know, but this Feyenoord team has not looked.
Their defense looks awful.
Weeks ago, I had them against NEC, which they were a team now. But Feyenoord was minus 0.75, something like that. Like it was a playable number. Years past, they'd be minus 300 away from home. There's something wrong with them this season. They had. I love Benfica to beat the stuffing out of.
So, Pavlos, I think you make an interesting point. The guy moved to Liverpool, and their defense is the best in the league. You got a Feyenoord team, and I mean, we were talking about the eye test here. I just looked it up. They've given up a goal in 10 out of the 11 matches they've played this year. Now, they've always been an over team, but they've given up a lot of goals. Over 3 looks like it to me, minus 115. Go over 3.25 for plus money if you want it. But I'm with you, Kenny. I very easily, I see 2-1 at worst in this game for a push.
You know what? I think there's going to be goals here. I do see Feyenoord. Actually, Feyenoord, yes, their defense is bad, but they scored in all but one match so far. And they scored 4 to PSV in the Super Cup of the
They gave up 4, didn't they?
Yeah, but they did score 4. They gave up 4 goals to Leverkusen, which was the only match of the season where they didn't score, and they had a couple of disallowed goals. I think they had a shot or 2 that hit the crossbar, so they were really unlucky. And Benfica's defense, if you look at their matches, they did keep a couple of clean sheets, but they were against Casapia, Estrela, Boa Vista. I mean, these are teams that are just not good. They're in the middle, to lower tiers of the Portuguese league. They did beat Atletico Madrid 4-0. I don't know what happened there. I wasn't watching the match, but it looks really bad. I think Benfica's defense, again, they have blank spots from time to time. I'm not really sure when one is about to come, but looking at how they conceded just 1 goal in their last 4 matches, I think that's a bit unrealistic. They didn't suddenly turn into defensive juggernauts. Feyenoord can score here, so I am between both teams scoring over 2.5 goals at plus 104 and the over 3. And here's a philosophical riddle for you, because if you take the over 3 and Benfica win 3-0, which is always a possibility, at least you don't lose money. I mean, you're getting a refund. Tongue twister. You're getting a refund, but it all comes down to whether Feyenoord are going to score, and I think they're going to score. So let's make it an official play. Both teams scoring over 2.5 goals. I like the plus money, plus 104. At Pinnacle, these are all from Pinnacle because they offer the best odds. This is not something paid. I don't have a partnership with them. They just offer the best odds.
Not yet. Pinnacle, if you're listening, we're available. Just if anybody's watching out.
DraftKings are just stealing from you. So DraftKings, we don't know. Stop listening. If you
that same bet. Yeah, I just put it together while you were talking DraftKings is -110. So not a massive difference, but 15 cents.
Yeah, 15 cents here, 15 cents there. DraftKings, they also do this thing where they offer you the same game parlay of Real Madrid win and under 3.5 goals, or they say it's -160. But if you make it your own same game parlay by picking the exact same things,
-130.
it's minus, yeah. So why, anyway, this is for a different, once we have an example of this, we'll use it. But in this game, I like both teams to score in over 2.5 goals, +104. Hopefully, Feyenoord just put one, score one.
I agree. I like it. All right, we like that. Kenny obviously likes Benfica an awful lot. I really don't hate the Atletico Benfica money line parlay at +130. Just throwing that out there. Got 3 games left, 2 of them heavy hitters. Barcelona at home to Bayern Munich. Barca +130, Bayern +175. Both of these teams are scoring a ton of goals. Is this going to be a 5, 6, 7 goal thriller? Are we headed for disappointment? Nobody wants to take it. This is, just be careful, guys.
Yes.
It can really go either way, honestly.
I mean,
I like the unpopular approach here.
What is
it does?
The under,
it does look like goals. I'm not ready to make Barcelona favorites against Bayern Munich yet.
You were kind of ready. You were still thinking about
what I'm looking at. Bayern Munich plus a quarter of a goal.
I think they're disrespected by the odds here.
Yeah.
Listen, I can see too.
The problem is that Hansi Flick, who is now at Barcelona, used to be at Bayern Munich. He knows them in and out. Barcelona have some injuries. Looks like goals. That doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be goals because, since that epic 8-2 Bayern Munich, they beat Barcelona 8-2. It was during the pandemic. But since then, they played 4 matches. They all went to the under 3.5 goals. 4-0 to the both teams score. No. Actually, Bayern Munich won 2-0 in all matches. So, small click, to Barcelona plus a quarter of a goal. I'm sorry, I'm just speaking Greek now. Bayern Munich plus the quarter of a goal.
Yeah.
Maybe take a look at the under 3.5 goals because, the fact that 2 powerhouses are clashing against one another doesn't mean that they're going to take their guns out and start shooting. There's also the difference, right? And we often see teams like this. For example, Bayern Munich at home against Leverkusen, 1-1 draw. There isn't a lot of examples out there, but whenever 2 big teams are clashing against one another, there is no guarantee that we see goals. For example, Bayern Munich at Real Madrid last season, they lost 1 on the road, under 3.5. At home, it was a 2-2 draw, but it was at home. Bayern Munich at home are a totally different beast. Strange match, proceed with caution. There is no wrong pick here. Maybe the under is the wrong pick here, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And I'm with you, man. Because it's maybe the biggest game.
I don't see Barcelona taking all 3 points here. I do not.
No, I'm with you. Evenly matched game like this, always give me the underdog on the spread every single time. I don't care where they're playing. I think Bayern been good enough. I don't hate if you want to take a Bayern team total. I do think they can get 2 in this game.
-128.
A lot of storylines, right? We got players who have swapped teams, right? Lewandowski, famously, obviously, on Bayern, now with Barca, Olmo the other way. A lot of things could happen. I think there's interesting nuggets to bet on here, but this is a game I'll probably just sit back and enjoy versus sweat out 2 or 3 bets that we're trying to talk ourselves into. But I'm 100% with you guys. I lean Bayern on the spread. Kenny, I'm sorry you were breaking up a little bit. Are we making that one an official play or not?
Plus 0.25, -128. Absolutely.
All right. We're in.
I mean, even goal scoring props, you can't find anything of value. Leva to score -105. Kane to score +105.
Nothing.
Maybe, in matches like this, there's something that I've done from back in the days where I was betting frantically. I get the center backs to score. Because, there's no goals. They're trying to find a goal. And then, I don't know, maybe
corner kick.
corner kick. Kim jumps and throws one in there. I don't know. Maybe just go for mistakes. Don't throw your money. Like in this match, it's strange match.
Yep.
Anything could happen.
Agree. All right, another heavyweight matchup. Leipzig at home to Liverpool. Liverpool minus 125. Leipzig plus 290. Liverpool top of the table. Impressive win against Chelsea. Weird game. I don't know if you guys watched it. Referee, like maybe some of the worst refereeing I've seen this season. Super inconsistent. A lot of weird VAR going on there. But Liverpool, you mentioned it, right? Slot is there now. You can talk about their offense. Their defense has been really, really impressive. They've only given up, I think, 3 or 4 goals all season long. Leipzig are at home. Do you think they're getting disrespected with this number, plus 290?
Sorry, I'm live betting. Sorry, Kenny, you can go. I'm sorry.
Wait, what do we take? Hold on, share that shit. What are we taking?
Valerenga versus Egersund. It's the Norway first division. It's actually the second tier division. Valerenga versus Egersund. I had both teams scoring over 2.5 goals. I forgot to bet on it. Valerenga scored one. It's at minus 135, and I'm getting a piece of that. Both teams scoring over 2.5 goals. Some crazy score lines there. Crazy score lines. So yeah, I like goals here. What was the play? Leipzig versus Liverpool. Leipzig pressed after losing both their matches so far in the Champions League, although they did score in both matches. I don't have a play in this match. I wouldn't be surprised by an under because Leipzig are generally tight at the back despite conceding 3 to Juventus. They're really tight. Liverpool also very tight at the back. Wouldn't be surprised by an under. Wouldn't be surprised if Leipzig pulled an upset and that plus 300 on the money line is good. Nothing in this match for me, to be honest. Unless I read something like Salah needs one more goal in Germany to do something. I don't know, something like that.
No.
Nothing for me.
All right, I'm in, Pavlos. We're in live with you.
Let's go.
Liverpool minus 115. That's 5 cents above the normal trap line that you'll see a really good team away from home. A trappy price. I think the line's set right where they want. I think they're going to be inviting Liverpool money to come in. I would not be shocked at all to see a draw in this game.
Yeah.
Both teams to score is too low. Over. Both teams to score and over 2.5 is too low.
Leipzig double chance, even money. It's not bad at home.
That could be the play. I mean, Liverpool having won their first 2 matches. Who do they play next? A draw wouldn't really destroy them. Oh, Liverpool have the Arsenal match.
They're going to want to win in this game. Away from home, though. Fuck.
Ooh, and Liverpool, their next Champions League match is at home against Leverkusen. Oh, I don't know, man.
They need this win.
They need this win. Leipzig are playing away at Celtic. So if they lose here, they're playing at a very strange venue away at Celtic. It's always tricky. Oh, pass. Pass for me, man.
All right. Last matchup of the day. Salzburg at home. Dinamo Zagreb. Salzburg has looked like shit. Kenny, we will let you answer for them. But I haven't even looked at the number yet. Tell me why I shouldn't take an over in this game.
Looking.
My man's got he's got like a 56K modem today.
If I was getting Zagreb +1 at a better number. Yeah, guys, if I end up disconnecting, something's going on today. I'm not really sure what's going on with my computer here, but let's try to get through this. Zagreb +1, if that was anywhere remotely close to -130, -140, that's a play for me. Salzburg has looked that bad. I was trying to find every which possible way I could to put Zagreb +1.5 in a parlay. I don't want to be forcing a play, but Salzburg not winning this game, I don't know. That's the way I see it going. You give up the amount of goals we gave up to Sturm Graz. I'm ready to get rid of the coach. You've got Gluck and Kanate, two of the best young players I've seen for the team in very many years, and I don't know. It feels like it's being wasted. I would not be shocked to see Zagreb.
We're trying to figure out what he says.
Hey, we're getting every other word here. Pavlos, what do you think, dude? Over 3, -110.
I think we're gonna stay away. I mean, an under wouldn't surprise me, an over wouldn't surprise me. Although for whatever reason, I kind of lean on the under 3, just because of the history. They have 5 straight unders, or I should say 4 straight unders. I don't know. Both teams under pressure, in the sense that no team has won so far. Zagreb with a 9-2 loss to Bayern Munich, that actually destroyed their goal difference. So, and a 2-2 draw against Monaco, but that was at home, and by a last-minute penalty kick. I don't know.
No.
I don't know how these teams they're gonna react. Maybe we see goals, maybe we don't. Maybe we see cards. Cards is actually what I would go for. Dan Mackely, let's see. Danny Mackely, I think he is a penalty kick referee.
Okay.
The referee, Danny Mackely. No cards this season. Maybe a penalty kick, but don't quote me on that. Just 11 penalty kicks in 41 matches last season.
Red card plus 350.
14 penalty. I think a penalty kick. 14 penalty kicks in 48 the season before that.
That's not bad. That's 25%.
Yeah, pass.
Yeah. All right. Take a look at the card market. Red cards, penalties, things like that. Over. I lean the over. Over 3 is even money. But Salzburg hasn't been good. So careful with that. All right. That's going to wrap up the slate. Pavlos, anything else for do we have Europa League this week? Anything in that? Or do you want to just call it quits?
We have Europa League. I'm going to give you guys just 3 plays that I've just off the top of my head. Porto versus Hoffenheim at home. I like Porto minus the 1 goal. Porto money line is also a good parlay piece. Hoffenheim are just bad on the road. A couple of lucky results. But I think Porto get this done. They look really good in the season, especially at home. So Porto money line as a parlay piece, or Porto minus 1 as a standalone play. Fenerbahce versus Manchester United looks like goals. Over 2.75 is minus 120. Both teams to score, and over is minus 107. Let's go with the over 2.75 goals, minus 120. I'm going to make us an official play.
I like that a lot.
And I like goals in the other Turkish match, Lyon versus Besiktas. Over 2.75 goals, minus 125. Both teams to score, and over is plus 100. Let's go with the over 2.75 goals because Besiktas.
Every game. Automatic right now.
They lost 4-0 on Ajax against Ajax on the road. They were just horrible. They didn't even have a certain target. Lyon, they're in good form, but don't be fooled. Their defense is a joke. The fact that they kept clean sheets against Le Havre and Nantes are just take those with a grain of salt because they have a bad defense. Looks like goals, should be goals. Slight problem that Besiktas on the road, they're not as effective as they are at home. But I think they can find one against this soft Lyon defense.
Definitely.
So over 2.75 goals, minus 125. And actually one last play. It's far from a smash spot. I just found it really at a weird timing. It's in the Conference League on Thursday. It's the early match, 10:30 Eastern start.
You hate the early matches, Pavlos. You hate them.
Yeah, but there's a good reason why I'm even discussing this match. It's Víkingur Reykjavik from Iceland. They're playing Circle Breeze from Belgium. I want to fade Víkingur Reykjavik simply for the reason that 3 days after this match, they have the title final against Breiðablik in their domestic league. Both teams are sitting at 59 points. Víkingur are above on goal difference, so they need a win or a draw to win the title. I think that their mind is going to be on a crucial match that it's a title derby just 3 days later, so they can afford losing in the Conference League. Not really sure where to go with this one, but I think Circle Breeze minus the 1 goal or the under 3, possibly because Viking are going to take a very defensive approach to this match. They're not going to rip themselves, to go for a win. Let's take the under 3. Let's take the under 3. It's minus 115. I think that's a fair price. Minus 115 for the under 3. And that's it.
Awesome. All right. That'll do it, man. That's, somehow at the end of the day, another 15, 16 plays we've gotten. Hopefully
It's a slow week.
Slow week. Always a slow week until we start talking. But hopefully you guys found some value. We appreciate the support. Appreciate you listening. Like, share, subscribe. It's just a couple of clicks. It's easy for you guys to do. Off the Woodwork. Don't forget about that amazing logo. We will be back with you guys at the end of the week. Thanks for listening.